Best Parenting Books for Toddlers 2021. This video will tell you about 4 best parenting books for toddlers that you should buy in 2021. All these books are available on Amazon, and links are given in the description. The video will first give the overview of the book, followed by a top-rated buyer review. So, let's begin. Number 1. The Happiest Toddler on the Block. How to Eliminate Tantrums and Raise a Patient, Respectful, and Cooperative 1 to 4-year-old. Overview. Perfect for expecting parents who want to prepare themselves for the challenging toddler years, which starts around 8 months of age. This essential guide, a national bestseller by respected pediatrician and child development expert Dr. Harvey Karp, not only helps reduce tantrums but makes happy kids even happier by boosting patience, cooperation, and self-confidence. In one of the most revolutionary advances in parenting of the past 25 years, Dr. Karp revealed that toddlers often act like uncivilized little cavemen, with a primitive way of thinking and communicating that is all their own. In this revised edition of his parenting classic, Dr. Karp has made his innovative approach easier to learn and put into action than ever before. Combining his trademark tools of toddlers and the fast food rule with a highly effective new green light, yellow light, red light method for molding toddler behavior, Dr. Karp provides fast solutions for today's busy and stressed parents. As you discover ways to boost your child's good, green light, behavior, curb his annoying, yellow light, behavior, and immediately stop his unacceptable, red light, behavior, you will learn how to soothe his stormy outbursts with amazing success and, better yet, prevent these outbursts before they begin.
Buy a top-rated review. It actually does help to read a parenting book. My child is 4, and I've read 5 parenting books over the past 6 months to try to find out what I can do different to correct the behavior that got him kicked out of preschool. I was actually starting to get discouraged about children's books in general, because while they did offer 1 or 2 things that were helpful for me to try, they still didn't seem worth their while. But this book is really different. The first thing I liked about this book is that it's written by a guy who actually knows kids, and by that I mean every single type of kid. He was the first one to hit the nail on the head, so to speak, because he literally has seen it all. Secondly, he doesn't make you feel bad about yourself or your kid. That may be a weird thing to point out, but I've read parenting books that took me weeks to get through because they either made me feel bad, or made me feel like something was wrong with my kid, and that I should feel sorry for him, but this book doesn't do that. Thirdly, the author is straight to the point. He does give scenarios of what happened with children he knows, but he doesn't go into so much detail that you can't figure out what he's saying quickly. It feels like some authors only have a few good things to say, so they harp on those few things several times, or they stretch it out so that their book can be called a book. But this book was very concise and straight to the point. I never felt like I was wasting my time reading this book, because every time I sat down to read more than 15 minutes of it, I learned at least 2 very helpful things to try with my child to improve his behavior. And fourth, this book actually works. It really does teach you to be that parent that is so good with kids that even other people's kids will be drawn to you at places like the zoo or the park. And after you've tried these methods for a short time, it will seem that this parent greatness that you have just comes to you naturally. I think it's because somewhere inside of us we have an instinct of how we should be teaching our kids, but we get so caught up on what TV says we should do, what we see our friends with kids do, or what our parents did to us, that we find ourselves forgetting or ignoring the most natural way to parent. And this book brings it back out again. I know I said a lot just to say this. I recommend this book to parents of every child type and of any age.
Number 2. How to Talk, So Kids Will Listen, and Listen, So Kids Will Talk, the How to Talk series. Overview. This best-selling classic by internationally acclaimed experts on communication between parents and children includes fresh insights and suggestions, as well as the author's time-tested methods to solve common problems and build foundations for lasting relationships, including innovative ways to Cope with your child's negative feelings, such as frustration, anger, and disappointment. Express your strong feelings without being hurtful. Engage your child's willing cooperation. Set firm limits and maintain goodwill. Use alternatives to punishment that promote self-discipline. Understand the difference between helpful and unhelpful praise. Resolve family conflicts peacefully. Enthusiastically praised by parents and professionals around the world, Faber and Maslach's down-to-earth, respectful approach makes relationships with children of all ages less stressful and more rewarding.
Buy a top-rated review. This book works. It's hard to believe, but if you read each chapter and do the exercises, for practice, and then try it out on your kids, or in my case, my kindergarten-aged niece, it actually works. Here's an example. My niece was having a World War III type of tantrum one day because her candy cane had broken in half. It was Christmas time, her parents, older sister, grandma, everyone was telling her that it was no big deal, she can have another candy cane, it will still taste just the same, etc., anything to get her to see reason and calm down. It only made her fit worse. Things escalated. Her mother started shouting threats to send her to her room. Then, I tried something that I had read in the book: let the child have the feelings she's feeling and let her know that she's having those feelings. So, I went over to her and said, just like one of the book's exercises, it's terrible. Your candy cane broke, and now it's not a perfect candy cane anymore. Even though it will taste the same, it's not a candy cane anymore. I can see how upsetting it is, because it's not the perfect candy cane that it used to be. And boom, she completely calmed down. She sat next to me without saying anything, but I could tell, she was finally feeling what she was feeling, rather than being upset and fighting to claim her right to feel what she was feeling, if that makes sense. And that was that. She stopped being upset and ate her broken candy cane. There are so many other examples like this, the one-word tip, the describe it, don't tell them what to do tip, the write a wish list together tip. I could go on. They really work.
Number 3. Siblings without rivalry. How to help your children live together, so you can live too. Overview. This wise, groundbreaking book gives parents the practical tools they need to cope with conflict, encourage cooperation, reduce competition, and make it possible for children to experience the joys of their special relationship. With humor and understanding, much gained from raising their own children, Faber and Maslach explain how and when to intervene in fights, provide suggestions on how to help children channel their hostility into creative outlets, and demonstrate how to treat children unequally and still be fair. Updated to incorporate fresh thoughts after years of conducting workshops for parents and professionals, this edition also includes a new afterword.
Buy a top-rated review. Beat money I have ever spent. My 3.5 years old and 1.5 years old daughters went from not being able to be in the same room without supervision, to loving each other and playing together in a healthy way. There is still conflict between them, but we deal with it in a way that doesn't create resentment. This all happened within a few days after I implemented the practices described in this book. I am reading the book again to make sure it all sinks in.
Number 4. How to con your kid, simple scams for mealtime, bedtime, bath time, anytime. Overview. How to con your kid is the most useful and sneakiest parenting manual you'll ever purchase. Here are hundreds of tips, techniques, and simple scams for getting your child to do exactly what you want, at mealtime, bedtime, bath time, and beyond. You'll learn how to con your kid into eating by playing on his possessiveness. Con your kid into bathing by swimming in the tub. Con your kid into talking quietly by whispering back. Con your kid into returning your iDevice, by any means possible. And dozens more tricks of the parenting trade.
Buy a top-rated review. I recommend this book to parents, grandparents, child care workers, and anyone who spends a lot of time around small children. I bought this book as a gift, but it's too soon to give it to the recipient. So I read it and had a lot of fun doing so. It contains clever ways to get younger children to brush their teeth, clean up, wash their hair, go to the dentist or doctor, etc. I like that the table of contents easily directs you to the chapter you need for different chores or situations. I was happily surprised. It includes songs to sing to get small children in the mood to do different chores/go different places. The activities make doing things fun. Reading it made me think of a way to make filing papers fun for me. I wish there was a version to make doing adult things fun for adults.